What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Evans, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about why every single actor should be out there creating his own material right now. By the time we're done with today's video, you're going to really understand why it's so important to not be sitting around waiting for an audition to get started with your acting career, that you should be out there creating. I'm going to break it down for you in a way that's going to make it undeniable. So let's get started with number one, okay? Number one, you never have to wait for permission to act. So many of us are sitting around waiting for an audition these days. We're looking at backstage, we're looking at breakdowns, we're waiting for someone to make a recommendation to someone to get us a job. Right now, you should be out there because you never have to wait. You can create your own roles whenever you choose, and for that reason, you'll always have fresh material, and that's a really important thing if you're out there looking for an agent or a manager or whoever it is that you want to work with. It is really, really important to be able to show what you're able to do right now, not last year, not 6 months from now, but with the strengths and skills that you have as an actor right now. And if you're creating your own material, you always have the opportunity to show that. And if you're showing them some piece that was just under 5 from a student film from 2 years ago, that's not going to be an accurate representation of what it is that you're able to do right now. So fresh material is necessary, and you never have to wait for permission to get going. If you're going to look for auditions as the only way to get that going, then that means you have to wait for someone to put up a posting and maybe go down and compete with every other actor in the world to get that role, and hopefully you get it. And we don't know if any of those things are actually going to happen with this situation that I'm telling you right now. Creating your own material, you're guaranteed to get it going. So that's number one. Number two, you always get the footage. I talk to actors all the time. They say they do a piece, a student film, a small independent film. They do this thing and they don't ever see the footage. That is a terrible thing to happen. And frankly, I got to be honest, as a director, it's happened to me. I've done something that I just didn't like the way it came out. It looked terrible. I didn't want the footage floating around. And so I canceled the entire project. I definitely don't do that anymore, but I admit in the beginning days of me creating stuff, I did do that. And it's just not fair to the actor. But at the end of the day, if you're creating your own material, you have complete control over that situation. No matter how the footage comes out, you have the access to it to cut and use the way that you want to. And that is something that becomes very important, because maybe you've got a good 2-minute clip there, or a good 1-minute clip there, or a good 30-second clip there that really shows you at your best, and you can have that available to send around to agents, to managers, to casting directors, to have up on your backstage profile or your actors access profile. So much of what helps actors get roles these days are not long reels of material, but short clips that really show them at their best. And that is something that's incredibly helpful to any of you guys out there who are looking to get roles and to spread and network with other people that might help you to get those roles. Reason number 3. You can choose roles that help you to show off your strengths. So hopefully you guys know what your strengths are. If you don't, you should check this video out that I put together on strengths. But at the end of the day, know what your strengths are, but then create material that plays to those strengths, that shows those strengths, that highlights those strengths to whoever might be watching. It's great to be working on your weaknesses. I'm never telling anybody they shouldn't do that, but I say triple down on your strengths. Show what you're great at right now, because those are the things that may help you to get the roles where you get the practice and maybe even get a little bit of money that can get you along for a little while and give you the time you need to work on those weaknesses. So figure out what your strengths are, make sure to get them on camera as often as possible. And one of the very best ways to do that is to be creating your own material. So get on that, guys. That's number 3. Reason number 4 for creating your own material, and one that I like very much, is that you get to work with people that you like, people that you trust, people that you think are really talented. And that could be, crew members that you've chosen specifically, so you know that the cinematographer is going to give you some amazing images, you know that you're going to get a solid sound guy. But it also means you may be able to work with your friends, you may be able to work with other talented actors who you know, who you trust, who you like. You guys can be in a collaborative mode, work together and help each other out to get each other's projects done, and really help to make the process so much more enjoyable, so much more fun. I know that I work with my friends all the time, people that I've been working with for the last 10 or 15 years. It's always exciting, it's always fun, it's always a treat to look forward to working with somebody who you love, who you at least like, and who can add something great to the project based on their talent, but also add to the fun and enjoyment of the experience because you guys get along. It's a tremendous thing, and I think it's something that so many actors don't get the opportunity to do. It's a nice thing to have that opportunity, and you get the choice to do that if you're creating your own material. So that's number 4. Number 5, you have control over the final product. When you put it together, when you're adding your music or you're adding your, when you're looking at the editing and the cut, when you look at this shot or that shot, this take or that take, of course you're gonna have an editor, of course you're gonna work with your director if you haven't chosen to direct it yourself, but you, as the person who's creating this project, has the final say over what gets into that project, what doesn't get into that project, how long it is, what particular takes are featured, and all of this is to help you guys to represent yourself to the world. So you want to have that creative control, and it doesn't mean you have to make every one of those decisions. If you have somebody that you trust, you can put them in charge. But if you don't like something, you never show up in a way that you don't want to show up if you're creating your own material. It's incredibly valuable, in my opinion, to have the ability to look at what your work is and get something out of it that makes you feel like you've been represented correctly, that your best stuff is on there, and just the idea of creating gives you that fulfillment when you can look at it at the end of the day and know it's something that you're proud of 100% from top to bottom, or at least that you did your very best for each and every piece and part of that. And part of that process is being able to have final say on the end product. So that to me is a great reason to go ahead and create your own material. Reason number 6, it creates a completely different relationship with the industry. If you're out there creating your own material, you're not just an actor out there looking for work. You're someone out there who is not waiting around, that's making it happen for themselves. And you'd be surprised at how much of a difference that makes when you're reaching out to agents, to managers, and casting directors. If they see you're out there creating strong material on an ongoing basis, they know that you're gonna make it. They know from your talent on screen as an actor, but they also know that this train is kind of leaving the station. You're not depending on them to get you the work. You're going out there and making that work happen. And therefore, it won't be long, as long as you're a strong actor, and I'm assuming you guys are out there working on your acting skills all the time. As long as you're a strong actor, it will not be long before one of the things that you put together hit, as long as you're creating it on an ongoing basis, which is what I always recommend. Keep your costs down and create as often as you can. Be prolific in these small projects that you create. Those people who are in the industry know when they see someone who's got skills and is working on a regular basis, they see that you're not going to be someone who's sitting on their hands hoping that they're, them as the agent or the manager is going to get work for their client, but that you're out there making it happen, which makes their job easier because they want to be able to represent someone that has a number of pieces that show what they're able to do. It makes them so much more likely to be able to find you the right kind of job. They appreciate you more, and they're probably going to work a little harder for you than for someone who's got their hands up or they're sitting on their hands waiting for the manager or agent to do the job for them. My next reason is that if you get started creating your own material, you'll always have fresh material for whoever it is that you want to reach out to. Of course, you're going to put it on your reel or, separate those clips out and put them in the package that you may send to representatives that you might want to work with, but you always have it available. You can put the links to these things on YouTube or Vimeo on your phone, and maybe you go to a party, a networking party. The world's opening back up right now. You might be at a networking event. You run into that casting director that you've been trying to get next to for who knows how long, or that agent or that manager or that director that you know that's putting together a project, and say, hey, I'd really love to work with you one day. Can I send you a link? And maybe they'll be open enough to say yes. You know what I'm saying? You can email them that link. They can take a look at it while they're having lunch one day, a 30-second clip, a 60-second clip, maybe your entire 5-minute short or 7-minute short. And the next time they're looking around for somebody for a project that might come in next week or next month or next year, they're gonna remember you in a different way than someone who's just presented them their headshot and resume. And I know this is true because I've done this. I have a bunch of actors and actresses who have submitted for projects of mine who were not right at the time for that particular role, but I'm like, wow, that person was really good. I'm gonna put them in my little file, and I always look through that file when I have new projects coming up. I'm about to send an email today to someone who I really liked her work from a project she submitted to me, that she submitted for in 2019. So just keep in mind, these things stay around, and if you have the ability to create them and make sure that you're not waiting for someone else to do that for you, you can guarantee that you'll have some good clips to send out, and that's going to help you in the future for those people who may check them out and hopefully create a memory for them when they have things that are coming up in the future. Okay, the last reason why I say that actors should absolutely be creating their own material is because you're gonna have more fun with your acting. If you're working on a piece that you know is tailor-made for you and you have the comfort of working with people that you like and in circumstances that you've helped to create, it becomes a much more fulfilling experience. It doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels something exciting happens. I can remember back when I completed my first film as a director and actor. I did both jobs on that particular film. I was a little crazy. I took on a lot of things, but man, was that a fulfilling experience. Man, was that amazing. I remember the last day of shoot and getting through that. It was something that really is burned into my brain in a way that I'll never forget it. And that film turned out to be incredibly successful. It ended up in theaters. It ended up on television, nationally syndicated. It played at Lincoln Center here in New York City. It did some amazing things. And I'll be honest with you, it's an experience I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. It brought me back to the idea that I could create work that I was really excited about instead of always considering what someone else wanted from me. So keep that in mind, guys. These are the reasons why I absolutely feel like you should be creating your own material right now. If you guys need any help doing that, we'd be happy to help you with Actors Revolution. You can go to actorsrevolution.net/start. That's actorsrevolution.net/start. You can find a free mini course right there that'll help you get started creating your own material, especially if you don't know how to write and don't have an idea yet. This course is perfect for you. We offer a bunch of other things as well, but I think that's a great place to start if you don't know anything about getting started with your own material. In addition to that, if you guys like the content that you saw today, I'm going to ask you guys to hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell so you know every single time I put out a piece of content. I'm really, really excited about helping actors to create. I'm really, really excited about empowering actors so that they have more to offer, not only to the industry in terms of pieces of work, but more to offer to themselves in terms of their creative fulfillment. I'm Brian Evans, Actors Revolution. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.